What is this world coming to? Another prolific sedan has just been canceled, this time from Volvo. Guys, hit that like button for the Volvo S60. It is officially being discontinued here in North America. And make sure you're subscribed for more news updates as we get them. But the Volvo S60 sedan is meeting its end here in North America. Now, it will be produced in other markets and sold to other markets, but not here in the United States. This was a couple years back that they canceled, what was it, the V90? We no longer get the big station wagon. You can only get it in the cross country. But the good news is that the V60 is going to continue on. But I believe that only has a plug-in hybrid powertrain. So we're over at Instagram. This is where it all started. Volvo for Life, they're a fan page for Volvo. And here's what they had to say. Did you know that the start of the production of the EX90 three-row electric crossover in the Charleston, South Carolina plant, that the production of the Volvo S60 will be coming to an end? With more than 120,000 USA units built in 5 years, it's unfortunately time to phase out the model completely. And so with the S60 out of the picture, you just have the S90, and the S90 is built in China. With the 100% import tariffs going on for this vehicle and the EX30, maybe we won't get this very long either here in the United States. However, Volvo does have a workaround. They make certain vehicles here in the United States. For example, they sent the S60 over to China, and that kind of negated the 100% import tariff on Chinese cars. Now they could be exporting the EX90 from the South Carolina plant over to China, so this vehicle in the EX30, for example, wouldn't get hit with that tariff. And the S60 is actually a historic vehicle for Volvo here in the United States. That plant in South Carolina, where they started producing this vehicle, the 2019 model year, in September of 2018 or so, it was the first Volvo ever produced here in the United States. And now it's being discontinued after 5 years of duty. Different powertrains have come and gone with this. For example, you had the T6, which was a supercharged and turbocharged inline 4-cylinder 2-liter that had crazy amounts of power. They settled just on 2 powertrains by the end of it. I never drove the modern mild hybrid here with around 250 horsepower. Pretty respectable 0 to 60 in 6.2 seconds. All-wheel drive available, so it's front-wheel drive standard. And yes, you have a 48-volt mild hybrid system. Yeah, this is going to be the volume seller for sure, which volume, we'll talk about sales in a little bit. The S60 never sold that great here in the United States. And it is quite interesting that back in the late 2010s, when they gave this vehicle the green light here in the United States, even sedans then weren't selling well. So it was kind of surprising we got this built here in the United States to begin with, the S60. And instead, what about the XC60 or the XC90? And those were never built here in the United States, only this S60. The one Volvo S60 I did drive blew my socks off, 0 to 60 in around 4.5 seconds. I was able to get more than 41 miles of range. I want to say it was like 45 or 46 when I drove it a couple of years back. Leasing this is probably still the way to go because of the large battery pack in. I want to say it's around 18 kilowatt hours. Because of that, you might be able to get some EV tax credits built into your lease, or should I say taken out of your lease payment. Gorgeous wool seats. You have the crystal shifter that's imported from Sweden. But the rest of it's very familiar to any Volvo interior. I mean, this looks just like the XC60, XC90 with this, wood here, the Bowers & Wilkins sound system here on this plug-in hybrid. But this plug-in hybrid is now gone, just like the mild hybrid. And it is sad because what other plug-in hybrid sedans on the market are there? I'm not coming up with a whole lot, to be honest. It started around 53, topped out at 58 with this TH recharge model with 455 horsepower and over 520 pound-feet of torque. Absolute monster of a vehicle. And this is a sleeper sedan. You know, a lot of people who have money don't necessarily want to flaunt it. They like kind of the incognito persona, and that's, I mean, to a lesser extent, driving the Mazda 3 Turbo a couple of weeks back kind of fits the bill too. But this is a little bit bigger than the Mazda 3 Turbo, and offers higher quality materials, overall better design on the exterior, looks better than a Mazda 3. And it costs, of course, a lot more than Mazda 3. This is a true luxury vehicle, but I feel like this is that next step past that Mazda 3 Turbo, for example, and especially if you get it in the plug-in hybrid. Let's go over to sales. Volvo sales have been creeping up these past, I don't know, almost a decade at this point, surging here in North America, going from about 54,000 sales all the way up to 128,000 sales in 2023. Now, I don't think they're going to have that good of a year here in 2024. So let's take 53,500 divided by 5 times 12. I was wrong. They're actually on pace to be really close to their 2023 sales, which is definitely a record, I would assume, unless you go way back into the 80s or something. But definitely a record here in modern history for Volvo. Let's see here. If we look at the S60 sedan sales, they peaked around the beginning of the 2010s. They're selling over 20,000 per year here in the United States. You can see how much they sell globally. And even the V60 is on here as well. Love that V60. And look how much more the V60 sells over the S60. I hope, here's the thing, with the S60 getting killed, I hope that they bring the V60 in with more powertrain options. But we'll go back to that in a little bit, because you guys know I love wagons just as much, if not more, than sedans. I would pick the V60 plug-in hybrid over the S60 plug-in hybrid. However, the V60 plug-in hybrid is a lot more expensive, if I remember right. All right, so in the past 2 years in the United States, sales just keep going down. 2023, they sold over 10,000 units. If we compare that to a competitor, something like the Acura TLX, they're selling about 6,000 more units per year, so about 60% better sales. But let's check out the wagons. The wagons have been diminished here. Like I said, V90, you can only get it in the cross country. You can still get the V60 in the cross country too. And the V60 non-cross country only comes in as the plug-in hybrid. Check out this starting price. This is why the S60 was such a good deal for the plug-in hybrid, because you get this sleeper rocket of a sedan, and that started at $51,000, roughly $52,000. So you're jumping $20,000 just to get this wagon. Now that the S60 is gone, though, bring this vehicle into the United States with more trim levels, more powertrains. Give us the base 2-liter turbo mild hybrid with around 250 horsepower, instead of only getting this in the Polestar Tune model with 455 horsepower, the bigger brakes, the adjustable suspension, all that. I know the S60 doesn't have that, but it has the same powertrain, and that's why I don't think this wagon is worth the chunk of change over something like the S60. Volvo maybe could have been losing money on the S60 too, but man, the V60 is just such a beautiful car. After driving it for a week and assuming it never broke down, I could easily see myself like living with this vehicle for a long time. It is so gorgeous. The S60 is pretty as well, but the V60 is just on another level. Another sedan bites the dust. What do you guys think? Are you sad about it? Yes, I'm sad about it. And it is closing the chapter of the first vehicle being built here by Volvo here in the United States for a fully electric 3-row EV. And EVs are not selling that well right now. Volvo's EVs are not selling well at all between the C40 and the XC40 Recharge. It'll be interesting to see how good the EX90 is and how well it will sell. And it will be expensive too. I want to say, can I find that real quick? EX90 starts at $76,000, and it is powerful, it is beautiful, and it should be more roomy on the inside of the XC90. And I will be driving the XC90 Recharge here in the coming weeks or so, trying it out with the family. It is just a very tight vehicle, and I'm hoping this on the inside, since it is an EV, it should be packaged better than the XC90. But there's no doubt it's a beautiful vehicle. Just hoping it's very, very functional on the inside in terms of space management. What is this, a cage for the dogs? Yeah, I guess it's a dog cage there. So they don't, I mean, you block them off so they don't get their nose prints on the rear window would be my assumption. Anyways, can't wait to drive the EX90. It can't do the S60 any justice for sure, but yeah, that's just the way things are going right now. Everything's turning into a crossover at the expense of the once successful genre of sedans. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you in the next one. Long live the Volvo S60 sedan.